Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. Remember this colony? Well, I hope you do, because today we will be introducing them to their new home. Here's the colony now, 4 queens and finally 1 worker. I think you can see in the front a small one, and 1 pupa, and 1 big larva and a lot of eggs. So let me show you their new home. And here it is, a naturalistic setup for our arboreal species. So I grabbed a cork bark tube I stuffed with the cocoa fiber, surrounded by a plant that I picked up on the local forest. Hopefully it will attach itself to the cork bark and continue to grow. And here on the top we can see the feeding station, so not really well, but that's the feeding station where we have the honey and the water. So I'm hoping that the colony can progress smoothly and continue to develop as before. And now let's see some footage of the introduction of the colony as opened it to their new home, their new outworld. Of course, in the beginning they are very cautious because they can sense all the new scents and they know they are not in their normal environment as before. So of course they become highly alert and defensive. But a few minutes later, driven or not by the scent of the honey or sheer curiosity of what is going on, they start to come out and explore their new home. And here's our first queen ready to come out, the most adventurous of them all. One thing that is important to note is that this species, particularly during their foundation stage, since they are semi-claustral, they will mainly feed only at night, and it's quite unusual for them to explore or forage during the daytime. But given these the new conditions, I think the curiosity has driven them to come out and explore. I'm very curious about the way that the colony is going to interact with their outworld. I know that these ants are arboreal and that they like to do those carton nests very similarly to the Polyrhachis divus, and I try to replicate or try to give them enough conditions to do so. The usage of the cork bark tube was very intentional because of all the cracks and crevices it has. It might induce the ants to web up in one of those crevices. I also added an old weaver ant nest that I collected, made up of dried leaves, in hopes that they might also want to use that as their first home and start their nest from there. On the ground I spread tons of dried leaves because I know that they will use these in combination with their silk to continue to grow their nests. As some of you might be aware, this is not the first time I tried to get colonies from this species, but I always failed. The furthest I managed to get was with 1 single queen. I managed to get a worker, but soon the worker ended up dying, and so did the queen. And this is the first time I've ever managed to get 4 queens to live this long, produce a lot of brood. I have a second worker on the way. Things seem to be going fine, and yeah, I'm very excited about this colony and with high hopes for their future progress. Ironically, and since I mentioned in the beginning that they are semi-claustral, I managed to get to this stage by doing actually the opposite. I've kept them claustrally. I kept them in a closed test tube. The only difference is that instead of using a cotton as the plug, the entrance plug, I used a steel mesh. I'm not exactly sure what is the issue or the difficulty behind raising these queens semi-claustrally, as we are aware that they are, and why I was more successful doing so using a claustral method. But I just want to leave this my experience to you, because I think this is the basic of ant keeping, which is experimentation and having fun and trying new things, even going against what what sometimes what's written on research papers, or what other keepers say that it's the best approach to doing so. And yeah, most important is to experiment, have fun, learn, observe, and enjoy keeping the ants, keeping your colonies, sharing with the other keepers your experiments and your success and your failures, and growing together as a community as well. So this is the end of the video today. It's quite short, sorry about that, but I tried my best. Sometimes things don't work out as you want. I hope you have enjoyed it, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. I would love to answer them. And see you next week. Thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and stay safe.